What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your friendly neighborhood ELT here, and today we are checking out something really cool, I think. I just actually discovered this. If you go to PlayStation.com/daily-bugle, they actually have a Daily Bugle digital newspaper that you can read. I do know that they're giving out physical copies of a Daily Bugle newspaper at E3 2018 this year. So if anybody's over there at E3 and wants to pick up a newspaper and send it to me, that'd be great. Anyway, they do have it available digitally though, and I thought that this would be cool for us to check out because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. As you know, Spider-Man PS4, my most anticipated game like ever, and I just can't wait to take a nice, big old, juicy, big bite like a big, soft, buttery biscuit. Okay, now I'm starting to get hungry. I really want to take a deep dive into Spider-Man PS4. I want to know all the ins and outs. This game is going to be something that's going to be life-changing, I believe. So, I took a little browse through the paper. I didn't read it all, because I wanted to save that for this video, so we could go through it together. Alright, so first of all, we get the nice, clean and classic Daily Bugle logo up here. Looks really nice, very reminiscent of the comics and of the Raimi trilogy. Daily Bugle, got a little bugle over there. New York's finest daily paper. And the headline, Electro Unplugged. We see a little picture over here of Spider-Man and Electro that we saw at the E3 gameplay. So, this, go inside his sci-fi cell in the raft. So this is taking place in the raft like it did in the E3 demo. This article is by Kat Farrell. Now, is she somebody that's important in the comics? I really don't know. That name doesn't sound familiar to me, so she may be in the comics, but I'm not 100% sure. It reads, Electro was apprehended and delivered to his own special cell at the raft after a high-voltage romp through the city with Spider-Man. Inside sources say prison officials left nothing to chance with their new electrifying inmate, claiming his cell looks straight out of a sci-fi film, surrounded by non-conductive PVC pipe bars and lined with rubber flooring. Electro won't be able to cause so much as a static shock. Citizens, once living in fear of the suit-powered perp, can now rest easily knowing Electro will serve his sentence in low-power mode. And of course we know that that is fake news, because he breaks out in the E3 2018 gameplay demo. But still, pretty cool, so we know what happens. Spider-Man takes him down, they take him to a special cell in the raft, where he can't cause any electrical problems, but something goes wrong, somebody breaks him out. Preferably, we would think it's that person that was at the end of the E3 demo, the one that Spider-Man was looking at. I was like, oh, it's you! And then they just, you know, completely cock-teased us and cut the trailer short. I'm going to assume it's Norman Osborn, because he made them all new suits. You know, they got all new suits and whatnot. He was able to coordinate a big prison breakout, and, you know, he is the mayor in this city, so it has to be Norman Osborn, you have to think. He has that kind of power to make a prison breakout. If it's not Norman Osborn, then my next guess would be Doc Ock forming the Sinister Six. But I just don't really see Doc Ock being in this game. He could be definitely a sequel, Doc Ock, you know, have another Spider-Man 2, but this time it's not a Spider-Man 2 movie game with Doc Ock, it's a Marveled Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock as the main villain. Anyway, moving on along here, and we got two more little articles. This one very interesting over here, but we're going to try to look at this one first. We get a nice picture of Norman, speaking of the devil, and Osborn seeks a three-peat. Another round for Mayor Osborn by Ben Urich, and that name is actually familiar in the comics. I remember Ben Urich. So is this one over here, Robbie Robertson. We all know who that guy is. Ben Urich. That sounds very familiar, but I'm having a brain fart right now. What does Ben Urich do? I don't know, but that name does ring a bell. Anyway, Mayor Norman Osborn has announced a third run for mayor after City Council passed a bill ushered through by Mayor Osborn removing term limits. Okay, so you see already he's doing something dirty. He's getting rid of term limits. So usually mayors, presidents, governors, they usually only get 2 terms. He's going for a 3rd term, this guy. Where was I? Removing term limits on the mayor's office. Osborn's been cleared for a shot at an unprecedented 3rd straight term. So, if we go by political standards over here in the United States, a term is usually 4 years. So, if he's been mayor for 2 terms already, that means 8 years. So all 8 years, you would assume that Spider-Man has been Spider-Man in this universe. Osborn has been mayor for all of those 8 years, and now he's looking for 4 more years. That's incredibly interesting. The city has flourished under my administration. I believe we can achieve greater things if elected once more, Osborn declared to the press. Alright, so that's a quote from Norman. Osborn's new platform focuses on improving citywide security, with promises to end the city's dependence on masked vigilantes like the Spider Menace. Okay, so he actually believes that Spider-Man is a menace. So again, more dirty things Norman's up to. By providing better support to the overwhelmed police force along other initiatives. He hasn't let us down. Could a 3rd term be the charm for his administration? So that almost right there confirms to me that it was Norman in the end. He's trying to get rid of Spider-Man. He's looking for a 3rd term, so he wants complete control as mayor. He doesn't want to be he doesn't want to just step down peacefully. He wants a 3rd term. Yeah, this is a great setup to Green Goblin. Who knows if he's even Green Goblin yet at this time? Maybe we'll see him become Green Goblin. That could be really cool to see. At the end of that E3 demo, he's just standing there, but he's not suited up yet. Maybe he only has like armor from the neck down, and he doesn't have any Goblin mask on or anything. That could be pretty cool. Anyway, this next article, very interesting to me when I saw the headline. So long, JJJ. So apparently, Jameson doesn't work at the Daily Bugle anymore? Let's see. Perennial publisher finds opportunity in digital by Robbie Robertson. Of course, we all know who Robbie is. He was in the Sam Raimi trilogy as well. The Daily Bugle says goodbye to its long-standing publisher J. Jonah Jameson. After decades of leadership, the fiery, headstrong newsman turns his attention to podcasts. Alright, so we do know that. We know that he's going to be hosting a podcast show, which I think is called like Just the Facts or Straight to the Facts or something like that in the game. But I thought that was going to be like a part of the Daily Bugle, but obviously it's his own thing. Let's see. Jameson dedicated his career to building the Daily Bugle into what it is today, New York City's premier newspaper publishing hard-hitting news that delivers the truth other papers lack the intensity to print. His fearlessness for compelling journalism earned him multiple top national... sorry. multiple top national accolades, and a prestigious book deal. No matter how he does it, Jameson vows to continue delivering his trademark brand of gusty news to the citizens of New York. Alright, I apologize for that little sneeze I had in the middle there. So Jameson no longer looks at the Daily Bugle. That's something to take away from this, which is really interesting. I also like the character design. He looks really good. So does Norman. We get an advertisement to re-elect Norman Osborn for mayor, keeping your city safe. Fisk's Manifest Destiny. And we get a nice little image here of Kingpin. Actually zoom in real quickly. There we go. That's old Willie over there, the big boy. It's Fisk World, we're just living in it, and this is by Kate Farrell. Next to the word Monopoly is a picture of Wilson Fisk, CEO of Fisk Construction. His cranes dominate the skylines while his branded steel beams support the skeletons of the majority of New York City's highest skyscrapers. Since the city is initially his, Fisk looks overseas to expand his empire. Some worry about his global aspirations, but who cares when he single-handedly rescued our middle-class blue-collar workers? That sounds interesting. So he's actually playing politics a little bit there. He's trying to be like a little bit of a good guy. That's interesting. But we know that he's dirty. Hundreds of other unemployed New Yorkers now work while business worldwide flock for space at any of Fisk's commercial towers. Fisk is so successful, he even pours his own earnings back into new projects. While this sounds shady, it's better when a self-made Bugle self-finances in lieu of using taxpayer dollars. So again, we know that he's dirty. We know he's up to no good, but he's trying to play it off as, oh look, I'm doing so good over here. I'm doing so good for the people of New York. You know, people coming to work for me. I'm spending my own money. I'm not using any taxpayer dollars. But we know this guy, this chubby little face up here, we know he's up to no good. I can't wait to punch that face. Anyway, he can grow his company across oceans and worlds if he wants. With so much of the New York City skyline influenced by the Bugle that this is Fisk World. We're just living in it, or in reality, renting it. Alright, that seems pretty cool. It's a cool little article over there about Fisk over there, what he's really been up to. I'm assuming this newspaper takes place before we take down Kingpin, obviously. And this is when we just took down Electro. Alright, we got a couple more articles to read over here. First of all, the man behind the spider. Look at that baby right over there. That's a beautiful image of Spider-Man in black and white. Swinging throughout the city. Love that costume. So good. So, readers submit their opinion on Spider-Man's true identity. Okay, so this is just a bunch of New Yorkers and what they have to say about Spider-Man. Brian I, who lives in Manhattan, so I'm guessing that's a little plug out of Brian Intihar? Okay, that's good. Add yourself to the game, Brian. You deserve it. I bet he's some ex-circus freak who misses the thrill of the trapeze. I mean, think about it. He swings from building to building like it's all he's ever done. Alright, that's cute. James S. from the Bronx says, I don't know who he is, but I know what he is. I don't know who he is, but I know what he is. A criminal. If Spider-Man really is on our side, he's shown his face. Otherwise, he's no better than masked crooks he captures. Alright, so that's a pretty decent point that a lot of people bring up in these superhero worlds with the characters that wear masks. Like, why are you wearing a mask? What do you have to hide? Pretty good point. Janice C. from Midtown. That's also a person that works at Insomniac Games over there. She deserves this too. She says, he's probably some gym rat who just wants to parade around showing off his gains. Oh, this is great stuff right here. Alright, Penthouses Pilfered. Oh, this is by Betty Brandt. Okay. No lead on who's looting the rich. A string of robberies targeting New York City's elite have police scratching their heads. Who's foolish enough to target New York City's rich and powerful? Apparently someone familiar with sophisticated home security systems, the likes of which are normally reversed for art museums and diamond importers. Reserved for art museums and diamond importers. Authorities lack any leads confirming whether the break-ins are executed by a single thief or a ring of criminals. Inside sources claim the culprit leaves a calling card at each crime scene, at least confirming police hunches that it is no common crook burgling our city's elite. So let's think about it there. There's a criminal going around the city, looting penthouses, and leaving behind a bit of a calling card. And we're going to believe that the calling card is this cat. A cat that appears to be the color black. Black cat? Hint, hint, hint? The city's wealthiest families demand justice, cranking the heat up to the full blast on police to crack down this case. And if they continue to fail, some suggest victims will invite outside forces to identify the $1 million bandit and bring them into custody. Alright, so that's a pretty interesting article over there. Somebody's looting the rich and leaving behind this little calling card of a black cat. What are you doing, Felicia? What you doing? And last but not least, we get an article for Empire State University, New York, established in 1865. Achieve greatness. Now accepting enrollment applications. Ooh, I can enroll. Awesome. Nah, screw that. I'm not going back to school. And then that's really it. You can see right over here, there's only been one issue published thus far, so if they publish more, then I'll definitely make a video on it. But until then, I thought this was actually pretty cool. Pretty cool looking Daily News. Daily News, wow. Daily Bugle newspaper. Again, if you want to check this out yourself, you can go to PlayStation.com/daily-bugle. And this is pretty much the PlayStation page for Marvel's Spider-Man. I can click over here to the other corner, and it takes you right to the Spider-Man PlayStation Store page, where you can pre-order the Collector's Edition, Deluxe, or Standard. Get a nice little Paris Games Week trailer in the background. We can go right back to the Daily Bugle, though. But so yeah, this is pretty cool to check out. Hope you enjoyed. I'm more and more interested for this game as the days just keep on coming by. We are so close to September 7th. Definitely going to be checking this game out on day one. Hope you're there to watch. And until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood ELT, signing out.